I want to give you all a quick story. I want to talk about identity pantries. I want to talk about the identity pantry of Africa. All right. Here's a contrast. When I was going to school, and this is about a lady. She's like she could have been like 57 years old. Um, when I was in school, I had not met a woman that was like her. Right. Um, I'm going to school in Detroit, so all my counselors, all my teachers, they're black women, black males, white males. None of them, stood out to me. Like they didn't go the extra mile to make sure that I felt as if I was going to pass my grades. Um, if you didn't know a subject, you just didn't know a subject. You know what I mean? They just didn't go out their way to make sure that I was good. They really didn't care if I, failed or passed. They really didn't care. Um, when I got to Minnesota and I became a nurse aide, um, basically a nurse, um, taking people's diabetes levels through blood pokes, um, phlebotomy. I can never pronounce that word. Phlebotomy. Um, when I was a nurse, right, and I had the option of, working with people, not working with people. This is in Minnesota, like greatest place ever, right? I got the option to work with who I want to work with and what time I get to work. So I chose to work nights. So I would come in during nights and, I'll be able to see the evening staff leave and they'll give me their charts on the patients. So it was this one particular lady from Ethiopia. She could have been no more than like 57, maybe 58, right? I met her and she every time she would see me, she would say, "Hello, hello, how are you, my friend?" This one particular day I came in, I got my lunch on me, my night snacks, all of that. I'm coming in the door, 140 pounds soaking wet. She was like, "Meet my son." She just stopped me out the blue. Like I'm just walking through the the patient's hallways. And she like, "Stop and meet my son, please, please, please." Um, I met her son. Her son was like 18. He was like 6'3". You know what I mean? Like, like outstanding guy. Um, again, they're from Ethiopia. So like I met her son, and she was like, "This is my son," and she was just there polite, and he was talking to me. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like I'm meeting people from other countries like who look like us over here. And, I clocked in and whatnot. Um it just goes to show you like people from other countries, they know they have a liking. They know they have a liking to people over here. I mean, like when you look at their level of cooperation, as far as like um kindness, like their their identity pantry is like, and that's a new word I just came up with, identity pantry. Their identity pantry is like far out this world. They don't have an identity crisis. Like they have enough common sense to know like if I want to work here, if I want to be in this country, I have to know a little bit of English. And I have to have enough charisma to let the people know who speak English, you all can speak my native tongue as well. I have no problem with you all speaking my native tongue. This is how they are. So like, when you know that you're just like, you stand out from other people, like you just know that you're different than everyone, you have to understand that you probably are, your DNA makeup is probably different than a lot of people who you see on the average if you live in that particular community. You live in FBA community, you're probably not like them. You know what I mean? So, um, to me, man, like when I see like, people and they're kind and they like to help other people, to me, like that just gets me going. Like I'm just ready to contribute. I've never been able to contribute to FBA culture from a standpoint of just being eager and wanting to contribute. FBA, I felt like FBA when I was younger, right? And I would want to get on a basketball court and like I knew I could compete. I didn't want to score. All I want to do is just play defense. Like this is before I even knew I can pass. I just want to play defense. And like the older guys, they would never pick me up. You know what I mean? They will only pick the troublemakers up. And I noticed that back then, it was like, if I want to stand out in the community, I had to be like, I had to be a contributor. And like, I was never allowed to be a contributor. And this is why I always dislike FBA culture. I never liked the fact that, you couldn't feel safe in your own community. You know what I mean? Like you could never feel safe in it. So like to have the opportunity to meet Africans, bro, like I don't know what type of Africans people are meeting, but like the Africans I've met in Minnesota, bro, like they've just been stand up. They've been stand up in character and everything. I don't know the people. I don't know who people are out here meeting. You know what I mean? I didn't meet Africans who were. I never met an African who was like a FBA. I've never seen it. I've never met an African who had a problem coexisting with FBAs. I've never seen it. Africans, they love FBAs. From what I've seen, they love them. So I don't know where all this hate is coming from. I think half of the people who's causing this type of discord, I don't think they've never met an African before. I don't think they've ever seen them before. I don't think so. I think they just know them by the internet personality. The trolling and stuff like that, the jokes and stuff. I think they know them by that. And it's like, that's not even that culture. I think they do that because they know, there's people out there who look down on them. Like when you see Tariq come with the jokes and he's like berating them and he's talking about their musty and stuff like that. That's where they get that from. That's not their culture. Because like the ones I've met in Minnesota, they're not like that at all. Like when I'm working at this nursing home and a bunch of Africans now. I love this place to this day. Like I want to go back there and work. I'm just sitting there. I'm getting ready to clock out, and they finna have lunch break at night, and they like come sit at the table with us. It was a Kenyan at the table, like 2 Ethiopians, a Liberian. They like come sit at the table and come eat with us. And another time there was a lady named Khadijah and a guy named Muhammad. They were Kenyans. And they would like come and sit down. Like, do you like curry goat? They're like, do you want to have some? And at the time, like I hadn't ate like meat for like years. I was only eating like Thai rice and curry chickpeas. And I'm like, nah, I don't want none. But like they offer me some, and I'm thinking like, these people are very kind. You know what I mean? Like Minnesota is a place that you want to raise a family in. You know what I mean? Like that's a place where you want to be around immigrants. Like some of these other places, the people don't know the people who are coming into the communities. And like half the time it's not Africans who's, coming into their communities. It's not them. But our people, man, they don't have that kindness in their heart, man. I don't see it. I've never met a culture in FBA that was just kind. I've never seen it. I've always been around a culture where the young people in FBA culture, they always had a problem with other young people in the culture. Because I'm young, right? I'm 34. This is the culture that I've always seen. It was young people attacking young people. Like the only culture we've celebrated throughout FBA culture is people who are like 90 years old who have, a story to tell in history, or the new child being born. Like in between that, like people don't really care about the culture. You know what I mean? Like people don't really care about it. Um, People just want an opportunity to, look down on other people. Like I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like why call a person musty? You know what I'm saying? Like when I was around them, like say for instance, like a lot of people would joke about Somalis and say they don't wear deodorant. Like I'm around a Somali woman and like it's obviously they don't wear deodorant, but like they weren't stinking. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't have an odor to them. And like the Ethiopians, I was always wonder like what is that do they eat? Cause like you can smell the natural scent, and then I figured out it was curry. You know what I'm saying? Like they would smell like curry, and I always liked it that scent. The Barbary spice that they use, because they eat a lot of grains and they eat like a lot of spice. So like I would always wonder what that scent was. But it's no need to call people musty. It's no need to call people bucktooth. It's no need to call people bald head. Um, Talking about people hairliners. It's no need for it. It's like the joking culture that we have. A lot of that used to turn into fights and shootings. So like that's I don't know where that culture came from. I don't know, and like it's always been in our communities, but I don't know where it came from. You know what I mean? Um, it was probably like a cyber attack, because like people will do stuff half the time and don't know why they do it. Like joking about someone's mother being dead or father being dead, like that goes beyond the culture. You know what I mean? Like that goes beyond the culture, and like no culture shares that type of behavior where they talk about you. No one shares that culture. When you look at African culture, is more based on policy as far as politeness. Same goes for Asian culture. It's the same thing. It's only African Americans, Black people, FBA, who do have a culture of joking where like it goes beyond politeness. You know what I mean? Like it goes beyond that. This is where I like the only bright spot of like um comedians. Like when you look at like Bernie Mac, Mar Lawrence, like to me, like when you look at like Bernie Mac, his comedianism was like different than everybody's. You know what I'm saying? Because like he had a show where like he was raising children. You know what I'm saying? And like he had to broadcast it with the theme of America. These are my children. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to come with that type of sentiment, and like people could relate to it. You know what I'm saying? Like even with Martin Lawrence, like he had to play characters. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a classroom setting where like blows were thrown. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't that type of thing. But these are your 10 countries right here, where kindness is shown. And here they are. You got Ethiopia at 5. And there was a statistic showing that Ethiopians, they were sad about their situation. They ranked low among those who had um, Ethiopians were ranked the lowest of all the countries who had a sense of well-being, meaning that they didn't like who they were. So this is a statistic. They're 5 in kindness. Nigeria 3rd in kindness. And, I like this index. You know what I'm saying? Because like if you're ranking people based on how much money they donated, volunteering, helped a stranger, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I'm saying? You can see the guy, he's showing his face in the column. I love it. I love it. And then you got Ghana ranked at 10. A lot of Americans are leaving America to go to Ghana. You see what I'm saying? You know, so Ghana got to watch out for that. They shouldn't be ranked that low. But, you know, it is what it is. Everybody knows about Ghana. Everybody knows about Ethiopia, Nigeria. Not many people know about Chad. You know, not many people may know about Kenya. Now, like, Kenya's starting to pick up on a lot of minds. A lot of people are starting to find out about Kenya. Uganda, too. Like, a lot of people don't know about Uganda or Guinea. But I would say Chad is probably the most that no one knows about. I don't hear people talk about Chad, you know. I don't see people from Chad a lot. I don't see them on social media. I really only see Kenyans, Ethiopians, Nigerians, Liberians, Ugandans, and that's about it. Maybe Ghanaians, maybe. I don't really see Gambians. I don't really see Sierra Leoneans. So check this article out if you get a chance. Great piece, Yakoki.